sunset, oh blissful morning, when with our Savior heaven is begun. Earth's toiling ended, oh glorious dawning, beyond the sunset, when day is done.
Should you go first and I remain to walk the road alone, I'll live in memory's garden, dear, with happy days we've known. In spring I'll wait for roses red, when fades the lilac blue. In early fall, when brown leaves fall, I'll catch a glimpse of you. Should you go first and I remain, for battles to be fought, each thing you've touched along the way will be a hallowed spot. I'll hear your voice and see your smile, though blindly I may grope. The memory of your helping hand will buoy me on with hope. Should you go first and I remain to finish with the scroll, no lengthening shadows shall creep in to make this life seem droll. We've known so much happiness, and we've had our cup of joy, but memory's one gift of God that death cannot destroy. Should you go first and I remain, one thing I'd have you do: walk slowly down that path of death, for soon I'll follow you. I'll want to know each step you take, that I may walk the same. For someday, down that lonely road, you'll hear me call your name.
We'll know no parting beyond the sunset,
When I was a little child, I remember well, it seemed I had to go to bed the moment darkness fell. Lying there I tossed about, trying to go to sleep, and so it was so many times I lay there counting sheep. Now that I am older, I have come to know the shepherd guides with loving hand wherever I may go. And I find a peace of mind, though the road may be steep, in knowing that the shepherd cares and watches o'er his sheep.
now I talk to the shepherd instead of counting sheep.
My burdens get lighter, yes, they get lighter the moment that we meet. And when the day is done and I lie down to sleep, I talk to the shepherd. Yes, I talk to the shepherd instead of counting sheep.
Instead of counting sheep. Now when the day is done and I lie down to sleep,
I talk to the shepherd. Yes, I talk to the shepherd instead of counting sheep. Save a seat close to Jesus for my mother. Oh, how happy I would be to know she's there. I am sure there's plenty Save a seat close to Jesus for my mother. When he comes to earth again to claim his own, save a seat close to Jesus for my mother. Let her sit beside my daddy near the throne. I know that all her life my dear mother has been faithful. Dear Lord, I'm sure she's earned a place in heaven there. Why, I remember her last words just before my daddy left us. All she said was, please ask Jesus if he'll save an extra chair.
Save close to Jesus for my mother. When he comes to earth again to claim his own.
Won't you please save a seat close to Jesus for my dear sweet mother? I'd like to know that she will sit beside my daddy near God's great throne.
Let her sit beside my daddy near the throne. Oh, they tore the old country church down, built a big new church way uptown, with a steeple so high it reaches to the sky, and bright as lifted when love could have made.
They tore the old church down. Old Uncle Andy had been the pastor for 40 years, and now he was all alone. His wife had died a year ago, and his only son had run away from home 15 years ago. No one had heard from him since. The town folk had decided to build a new church, and with a new church, they thought it a good idea to get a new preacher. Uncle Andy never said a word, but his eyes grew a little dimmer, and his shoulders a little more stooped. Someone asked if he hated to see the old church torn down, and he replied, "It's not so much the building, it's what it stands for. Nearly every child born in this town was christened there. Every funeral for the past 40 years was preached there, and many of our people found God there. I know my days are but a few, and someone must take my place, and I pray that he will fill the new modern church with the same warmth and beauty of love and fellowship we've known in the old church. That's the way it should be. But, well, we'll just wait and see." So the new church was built, and then came the day for the new preacher to arrive for the dedication. Folks came from miles around. The new preacher was late. The choir sang a few songs. Everyone was fidgety. Then someone said that since there was such a large congregation, maybe they should ask Uncle Andy to preach a short farewell sermon. Uncle Andy arose from his seat and slowly made his way to the pulpit. A brand new Bible was there, a gift to the new preacher. Uncle Andy carefully adjusted his glasses and then looked over them at the congregation. "Dearly beloved, this is a surprise. I thought I'd preached my last sermon, but it looks like God has given me one more shot at the devil." And then he started preaching. At first, some of the congregation was fidgety, but gradually a hush came over them. Never had they heard such a sermon. Some dabbed at their eyes, and then Uncle Andy prayed. Some said that the new church lit up with a light that glowed. He asked God's blessings on the new church and the new preacher. When he had finished, the congregation arose as one and rushed forward to shake his hand. Finally, a tall young man stood in front of Uncle Andy, his hair a bit tousled. He was a little too skinny, and his suit seemed a bit too big for him. Uncle Andy grasped the outstretched hand, and for a moment they just looked at each other. The steel gray eyes of the younger man staring into the faded blue eyes of the older one. Finally, Uncle Andy spoke. "I thought I knew everyone hereabouts, but I don't seem to remember seeing you. They call me Uncle Andy. I just preached the first sermon in the new church, and the last sermon for an old man." Here his voice faltered, and tears dimmed the faded blue eyes. Then the young man spoke so softly he could barely be heard. "I too will call you Uncle Andy if you wish. I am the man sent here to replace you as pastor. I know how you must feel after 40 years of faithful service to be cast aside as soon as a new church is built. I heard your sermon today, the greatest I ever heard. For 4 years I have been studying at a great seminary, and as one preacher to another, I'm proud to shake your hand. I came here to learn from you. You see, I ran away from home at the age of 12 and changed my name. My folks thought I was dead. I lived this lie until just 4 years ago when I found God, the same God my father often told me about when I was a small boy. It was then I decided to try to make amends for the heartaches I had caused, heartaches that hastened the death of my dear mother. God has forgiven me, and I pray, sir, you will do the same, because I came here to be your assistant. But more important, I am your son.
The son who was lost came home. It is no secret what God can do.
The chimes of time ring out the news. Another day is through. Someone slipped and fell. Was that someone you? You may have longed, yes, you may have longed for added strength, your courage to renew. Do not be disheartened. I have news for you.
It is no secret what God can do. What He's done for others, He'll do for you. With arms wide open, He'll pardon you. It is no secret.
There is no night, for in His light you never walk alone. Always feel at home, wherever you may roam. There is no power, no, there's no power can conquer you while God is on your side. Take Him at His promise. Don't run away and hide.
It is no secret what God can do. What He's done for others, He'll do for you. With arms wide open, He'll pardon you. It is no secret what God can do. is no secret what God can do.
Well, God told Noah, go build an ark.
Climbing the ladder up to the sky.
When it was finished, then the sky got dark.
Climbing the ladder up to the sky.
Then it rained and it rained 40 days and nights.
Climbing the ladder up to the sky.
Then the sun came out and everything was bright.
Climbing the ladder up to the sky.
Little David met Goliath on the mountain top. Old Goliath said to David, kid, you better stop. But David kept a-coming with a sling in his hand. Little David hit Goliath and the giant hit the sand. Climbing a ladder up to the sky. Climbing a ladder up to the sky. Climbing a ladder up to the sky. Climbing a ladder up to the sky.
When passion and pride o'ertake you, and the fires of hate kindle within, when at last your fury is vented, no place to go. What then?
When the laws of this land are all broken, and the lawless have had their sway, when honest and God-fearing people are afraid to be heard when they pray, when minority rules that our liberty has at last come to an end, and riots destroy our cities with no thought of the Savior, what then? When the flag of Old Glory is trampled and honor's no longer a rule, when God in our country's forgotten and the Bible is barred from the school, when treason seems to run rampant and traitors allowed to contend, while the faithful are dying in battle for love of their country, what then? When taps have finally been sounded and the faithful are silent and still, when the forces of evil are conquered and they've captured that last bloody hill, when our soldiers come home to America and the war over there's at an end, if they find rioting and murder in the streets back home, what then? When we've heard the last time our anthem and mothers have voiced their last prayer, when freedom's no longer an issue and the sound dies out in the air, when the laws of God are all broken and the saints of the earth have checked in, when the ones that rejected the Savior are brought to account, what then?
What then? What then?
Well, times was hard when I was a lad, 13 young'uns plus mom and dad. A 4-room house with an old fireplace, and sleeping 4 to the bed doesn't leave much space. Dad plowed the mules in the back 40 fields. Mom cooked on the wood stove, fixing meals. Keeping us in clothes was mighty hard to do, and I've worn a lot of cardboard in the bottom of my shoe.
When payday comes, you gotta be patient till payday comes. Well, the cotton fields are wide and there's picking to be done. If you wanna get your share when payday comes.
I've worked in the fields when the sun was high, till my brain was scorched and my throat was dry. When the shadows got taller and the cotton was white, I knew payday was pretty near in sight. When payday came, Dad pulled the wagon round, loaded up the young'uns and headed out to town. This was the day we'd all waited for. We could see all the goodies at the general store. We always prayed there'd be money left when Dad put the groceries in the old wagon bed, but somehow we knew what Dad was going to say. There'll be another harvest and another payday.
When payday comes, you gotta be patient till payday comes. Well, the cotton fields are wide and there's picking to be done. If you wanna get your share when payday comes.
Well, those were the days when families were close. We didn't have much, but we were richer than most. We were taken to church and taught to love God by an old-fashioned preacher who believed in the Word. He preached about working in the vineyard of the Lord and how someday soon we'd receive our reward. How the Lord had us down on His payroll in the sky, and payday would come pretty soon, by and by.
Payday comes, you gotta be patient till payday comes. Well, the cotton fields are wide and there's picking to be done. If you wanna get your share when payday comes, if you wanna get your share when payday comes, if you wanna get your share when payday comes, if you want.
Oh Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe display.
Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee.
How great thou art, my God, how great thou art.
Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
And when I think that God, his Son, not sparing, sent him to die, I scarce can take it in, that on the cross, my burden gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sin. When Christ shall come with shouts of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart? Then I shall bow in humble adoration and there proclaim, my God, how great thou art.
Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou
how great thou art. My God, how great thou art.
My God, how great thou art. Mama's teaching angels how to sing. Heaven's halls are silent when Mama sings.
David lays down his harp and heaven's bells won't ring.
When Mama's teaching angels how to sing.
There's a voice missing in our little country choir. Rock of Ages will never sound the same. God heard her singing. Heaven was not complete. Now Mama's teaching angels how to sing. The old home is empty. It's lonesome since she's gone. And it's hard to know she won't return again. But I'll meet her in the morning on heaven's golden hills, where Mama's teaching angels how to sing.
Mama's teaching angels how to sing. Heaven's halls are silent when Mama sings.
David lays down his harp and heaven's bells won't ring.
When Mama's teaching angels how to sing.
Oh Lord, I have walked a rocky road. My body's old and frail, and soon I know I will be near to the end of my trail. Oh please, dear Lord, hold to my hand so I can wear a smile. I know the way will be sweeter than beyond that last long mile. I'm safe beyond that last long mile. I know what makes a life worthwhile. I'm glad that I can look back and smile. I'm safe beyond that last long mile. For many, many things I have done so wrong. Somewhere along that lonely way, yes, I'll truly say,
I'm sorry now.
Lord, I'm so sorry now. Forgive me, oh Lord, I pray. Oh, so many things I know I should have done. Just a kind word and a smile. I'm safe beyond that last long mile. Now I know what makes a life worthwhile. Oh, yes, I'm glad.
I'm glad that I
Can look back and smile.
can look back and smile.
For I'm safe beyond
I'm safe beyond
that last long mile.
that last long mile.
Tomorrow we'll appear in court, my wife, my son, and I. We'll ask the judge for a divorce, and he will ask us why. We both know what the reasons are. It's things that we have done. I know just what I'll tell the judge, but what'll we tell our son? I know that he won't understand, for he's too small to know. And how can I explain to him that one of us must go? We've tried to keep these things from him that we should not have done. It won't be hard to tell the judge, but what'll we tell our son? I know that I'm most to blame for troubles that we've had, and my heart breaks to hear him say, I want to be like Dad. Somewhere along our troubled way, we've wronged this little one. I know just what I'll tell the judge, but what'll we tell our son? He's sleeping now without a care, while two hearts die within. She's weeping now. I hear her say, why can't we start again? I think I'll say a prayer for tomorrow not to come, so we won't have to tell the judge what we can't tell our son. I know that God does answer prayer. He'll never close the door. He's the answer to our troubles. I should have known before. I'm sure that we can work it out. He'll forgive the things I've done. And the little boy, God bless him, will always be our son.